Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhamad Ridho Perwira. My number is 2301020. So today I'm gonna presentate my presentations about electronical components. So there are 12 components that I will tell you today. The first one is non-polarized capacitors. The non-polarized capacitors are capacitors without positive and negative polarity. The two electrodes of non-polarized capacitors can be randomly inserted into circuit and will not leak. The non-polarized capacitors commonly used in circuits of coupling, decoupling, feedback, compensation, and oscillation. The pictures beside shows the reference diagram of the non-polarized capacitors. Okay, the next component is polarized capacitors. Polarized capacitors are capacitors with a specific positive and negative polarities. When using these capacitors in circuits, it is vital to make sure they're connected into the correct polarities. Polarized capacitor is an important product to use in industrial application. Polarized capacitors are provided by several suppliers and companies, different manufacturers, and a lot of distributors. There are a lot of polarities capacitors for sale on Linux. So the picture beside shows the diagram of the polarized capacitor. And now we have a diode. A diode is a two-terminal electronics component that conducts current primarily in one direction. It has a low direction and high resistance in other. The most common function of diode is to allow an electric current to pass in one direction called the diode's forward direction, while blocking in the opposite direction. As such, the diode can be viewed as an electronical version of a check valve. Now we're gonna go to LED. A light emitting diode or LED is a semiconductor device that emits light when current flows through it. Electrons in the semiconductor recombine with electron holes, releasing energy in the form of photons. The color of the light, corresponding to the energy of the photons, is determined by the energy required for electrons to cross the band gap of the semiconductor. White light is obtained by using multiple semiconductors or a layer of light emitting phosphor on the semiconductor depth. Is optoisolator. An optoisolator, also called an optocoupler, photocoupler, or optical isolator, is an electronical component that transfers electrical signals between two isolated circuits by using light. Optoisolators prevent high voltage from affecting the system receiving the signal. Commercially available optoisolators withstand input to output voltage up to 10 kV and voltage transients with speeds up to 25 kV. After that, we have a photoresistor. A photoresistor, also known as the photocell or light-dependent resistor, it's a passive component that decreases resistance with respect to receiving luminosity light on the component's sensitive surface. The resistance of a photoresistor decreases with increase in incident light intensity. In other words, it exhibits photoconductivity. A photoresistor can be applied in light-sensitive detector circuits and light-activated and dark-activated switching circuits acting as resistant semiconductor. And now we move to a potentiometer. A potentiometer is a three-terminal resistor with a sliding or rotating contact that forms an adjustable voltage divider. If only two terminals are used, one end and the wiper, it acts as a variable resistor or rheostat. The measuring instrument called a potentiometer is essentially a voltage divider used for measuring electric potential voltage. The component is an implementation of the same principle, hence its name. And now we have a relay. A relay is an electrically operated switch. It consists of a set of input terminals for a single or multiple control signals, and a set of operating contacts terminals. The switch might have any number of contacts in multiple contact forms, such as mic contacts, break contacts, or combination thereof. Relays are used where it is necessary to control a circuit by an independent low power signal, or where several circuits must be controlled by one signal. The next one is a resistor. A resistor is a passive two-terminal electrical component that implements electrical resistance as a circuit element. In electronic circuits, resistors are used to reduce current flow, adjust signal levels to divide voltage, bias active elements, and terminate transmission lines, among other uses. High-power resistor that can dissipate many watts of electrical power as heat may be used as part of a motor control, in power distribution systems, or as test loads for generators. And now we have a stepper motor. A stepper motor, also known as the step motor or stepping motor, is a brushless DC electric motor that divides a full rotation into a number of equal steps. The motor's positions can be commanded to move and hold at one of the steps without any position sensor for feedback, as long as the motor is correctly sized to the application in respect to torque and speed. And then we have a switch. In electrical engineering, a switch is an electrical component that can disconnect or connect the conducting path in an electrical circuit, interrupting the electric current or diverting it from one conductor to another. The most common type of switch is an electromechanical device consisting one or more sets of movable electrode contacts connected to external circuits. And then the last component is a transistor. A transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch electrical signals and power. It is one of the basic building blocks of a modern electronics. It is composed of semiconductor material, usually with at least 3 terminals for connection to an electronic circuit. So I think that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.